Hello there, welcome back. Up until now, we've looked at food and health from the perspective that brings awareness to the kinds of foods that we eat in our daily lives and the effects that they have on our bodies. But this isn't where the discussion of health ends. In fact, it's only just beginning. Let us further the discussion into our nutritional health by continuing to explore this wheel of food in the standard American diet. We realized, however, that in order to talk about all of these topics thoroughly, we have to gather a deeper awareness about the fundamentals of nutrition. Nutrition is an incredible topic, and just as poor nutrition can damage the body, whole and balanced nutrition can heal the body and return it to its natural state of being. It allows us to live longer, boosts our immunity to diseases, and provides us with clarity of mind and emotions. Things like carbs, fats, vitamins, we've all heard of these words before, but we thought it'd be important to lay it all out simply for you. There are a lot of different opinions out there regarding what balanced nutrition looks like. So today we are breaking it down into the most basic form to build an objective understanding of what our bodies use for energy. As a final note, we would like to say that although we've crammed as much info into this video as we can, there is still so much to learn. Thus, we've provided a number of sources and great videos that you can watch if you wish to dive deeper into any particular topic. Sound good? Okay, let's get to it. Let us begin by going over the definition of nutrients and nutrition so that we can all be really clear on what we're talking about. Nutrients are defined as a substance that provide nourishment which are essential for sustaining and maintaining life. As you might expect, nutrition then is defined as the process of providing or obtaining the food necessary for health and growth. So when we're talking about nutrition, we're really talking about the optimal kind of nourishment for our bodies, which supports and maintains our life. But what are nutrients, really? Well, nutrients are molecules that all organisms need in order to make energy, grow, and reproduce. They are broken down into three main nutrient groups utilized by the organism, which are macronutrients, micronutrients, and phytonutrients. Let's take a closer look. Macronutrients are the class of chemical compounds which humans consume the largest quantities of and come in the form of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Water and oxygen are also consumed in large quantities, but are not always considered food or nutrients. However, calcium, salt, magnesium, and potassium are sometimes added to this list of macronutrients because they are required in larger quantities than most other micronutrients. Let's look at each macronutrient individually. A carbohydrate is a biological molecule consisting of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen atoms, usually with a 2-to-1 hydrogen to oxygen ratio, the same ratio as in water. The most common and abundant forms of carbohydrates are sugars, fibers, and starches. Carbohydrates in their simplest forms are used by the body and mind as an energy source by providing glucose to our cells and cellulose as digestive fiber. There are two basic types of carbs, simple and complex, which vary depending on their chemical structure, and each is received by your body differently. Simple carbs are basic sugars and give you a quick spike in energy. If you have too much though, it can overload your liver and turn to stored fat in your body. In the standard American diet, they are most often found in processed sugars, which besides quick energy hold no nutritional value. Simple carbs also occur naturally in fruits and vegetables, which is the best place to find them because fruits and vegetables naturally contain other nutrients. Complex carbs, on the other hand, are things like fiber and starch, which can take longer to process by the body and carry far more nutrients within due to their complex molecular chain. Fibers themselves are not actually even processed, they're just used by the body to push things through. Starches and fibers are found in virtually all unrefined plant-based foods. The key with carbohydrates are finding the right carbs, not avoiding them altogether. Generally, the more complex carbohydrates that you eat, the better off you'll be. Interestingly enough, there's a long-standing myth that the human brain evolved because we began eating meat. However, the neurons in the brain run almost exclusively on glucose, not protein and fat, which is what makes up the structure of meat. The scientific evidence on this actually shows quite clearly that it was the advent of cooking, particularly carbohydrates, which fueled early brain growth thousands of years ago. There's actually a lot to discuss here, so if you wish to learn more, there's some links in the video description. Another topic that sometimes gets confused with carbs are calories, so we want to clarify the difference for you here. A calorie is a unit of measuring just how much energy any particular food has within it, and can be found in all macronutrients, whether it's carbs, proteins, or fats. So the energy that we get from carbs can be measured in calories. Though as mentioned with simple versus complex carbs, some sources of calories are able to be digested by our bodies more efficiently than others. You may find that an apple has the same amount of calories as a can of low-calorie soda. However, the nutritional value of the apple is significantly higher no matter how you slice it, and the can of soda will very quickly convert to stored fat when consumed. Again, there's always more to learn on these topics, so if you want to learn more, check out the links below. Protein is the major structural component of cells and is responsible for the building and repairing of body tissues. Proteins are broken down into amino acids, which are organic compounds essential for every metabolic process in the body. 9 of the 20 amino acids, known as essential amino acids, must be provided in the diet as they apparently cannot be synthesized by the body. As we've mentioned before, many people believe that they have to get all of their protein from meat, or that plant protein is inferior to meat protein. While they both can be valuable in their own right, there are many plant sources which have even higher amounts of protein in them than their meat counterparts. Plus, with the lack of heme iron or high levels of saturated fat which come along with animal protein, we find that vegetable protein is indeed healthier for our bodies. In essence, protein is a vital building block for growing hair, building muscle, bones, cartilage, skin, and blood, and even helps you stay satiated once you've finished eating a meal. And today, many nutritionists believe that between 10 to 35% of your daily calories should be protein-rich. The next macronutrient in the list is fats, also called lipids. These are the macronutrient which stores energy for our bodies. Fats have long chains of carbon and hydrogen, and when consumed, increase the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamins A, D, E, and K. Fats are needed to keep cell membranes functioning properly, to insulate body organs against shock, keep body temperature stable, and maintain healthy skin and hair. As with proteins, the body cannot manufacture essential fatty acids alone, and so must be supplied in the foods that we eat. As we touched on before, fats often get a bad reputation, which really shows how little they're understood. While we need to watch how much fat we consume in our diets, making sure that we're getting the right types of fat is even more important. There are saturated and unsaturated fats, and of course, trans fats. Most unsaturated fats are really good for you, like that which comes from an avocado. And saturated fats can have benefits in very small doses and can be very harmful in excess. Trans fats are known to cause tons of health issues, and those are the ones that you'd really want to avoid, which you can do by looking out for anything that says partially hydrogenated in the ingredients list, because that's how trans fats are made. Another nutrient you might hear about, and a part of the fat family, is called cholesterol. This is a waxy fat-like substance which is found in every cell in your body, and is a requirement for your cells to interact with each other. It also plays an essential role in our brains, which contain about 25% of the cholesterol in our bodies, and is critical for the formation of mental synapses. There's a lot of concern in the world about high cholesterol, it being one of the primary causes of coronary heart disease. As we've looked at previously when we discussed fat and processed foods, high cholesterol is bad when you have a high amount of LDL cholesterol, which comes from fast foods, potato chips, cookies, icing, donuts, and anything with trans fat. On the other hand, a healthy and balanced amount of HDL cholesterol in your diet can tremendously reduce your chances for heart disease, especially when you find them in sources like organic beans and leafy green vegetables. Probably one of the other most important discussions related to fats are the polyunsaturated fats called omega-3 and omega-6. These omega oils are essential fatty acids, which means that they are not made by our bodies and must be added to our diet. Great sources of omega-3 includes flax, chia, and hemp seeds, seaweed, beans, winter squash, leafy greens, wild rice, and cabbages, cauliflower, broccoli, and berries. Great sources of omega-6 include pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, avocado, lentils, acai, and most nuts for that matter. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Patchman, what about fish and vegetable oils? It's true that both fish oils and veggie oils are high in these omega fatty acids. However, there are some big problems with both. Fish oils can easily go bad once they are extracted if they come into contact with heat, light, or oxygen, which causes oxidation. Unfortunately, the vast majority of fish oil available is actually rancid and doesn't contain the percentage of omega acids that are typically advertised. As for vegetable oils, well, Dr. Esselstyn had this to say.
What do we have them eat? Whole grains, legumes, lentils, vegetables, and fruit. You've all familiar and heard about this. No oil, fish, fowl, meat, or dairy. No oil. No oil. Dr. Vogel has gone on and shown us indeed that olive oil activates clotting factor 7 just as much as butter.
Typically, in today's world, veggie oils like olive or sunflower oil are advertised as being a healthy oil to use in cooking. However, new studies are showing that these claims are truly just a product of advertising and demonstrate that in actuality, all processed oils, including the famed coconut oil, cause high blood pressure, and can lead to heart disease. Therefore, the best place to get fat in the diet is definitely from natural, unprocessed sources. Whew, okay. So now on to micronutrients. If macronutrients are carbs, proteins, and fats, then micronutrients, on the other hand, are our vitamins and minerals. And while they are only needed in small amounts, they play a very important role in biological development and well-being. They help regulate metabolism, heartbeat, cellular pH levels, and even bone density. The first form of micronutrients are vitamins, which assist in helping our cells to make energy. Vitamins are usually used in conjunction with enzymes to help cells go through metabolism, where they break down food to get energy. There are 6 major vitamin groups: A, B, C, D, E, and K, and the Bs of which break down, such as B1, B2, B3, etc., each of which has its own use for the body. The vitamin A group supports gene transcription and embryonic development and are found in liver and fish oil, but also plenty of leafy green vegetables, orange and yellow vegetables, tomatoes, and tons of fruit. The vitamin B group supports cell metabolism, and while there are a lot of B vitamins, they are largely found in leafy greens and other vegetables, and most animal products too. On this topic, there is this whole vitamin B12 debate, which many people believe is a vitamin only found in animal products, which lends support to the idea that we must eat meat or other animal products in order to survive. However, this idea is not 100% accurate, for B12 is actually created by bacteria and can even be synthesized in your own intestines with the right internal flora and fauna. Even beyond that, untreated water and soil have B12 in it naturally. And in the past, nobody had B12 problems whether they ate animal products or not, because the soil was far more nutrient rich than it is today. For those seeking B12 without consuming animal products, the US Library of Medicine has stated that blue-green algae such as spirulina is a plant-based source for B12. And spirulina is also one of the highest protein-rich natural superfoods on the planet. The B12 discussion alone is a pretty large topic by itself. So for the time being, we've included an article and a video that you can watch below. Moving on, vitamin C is vital for the immune system and is most abundant in oranges and other citrus, red peppers, kale, and many other veggies, and is one of the best vitamins to take when you're feeling ill. Vitamin D strengthens the bones, and of course, the best source of vitamin D is the sun, and you only need to spend about 15 minutes outside per day in order to fill up. Vitamin E is known for its antioxidant activities, which protect the damaging of cells by free radicals. Vitamin E helps fight heart disease. It's great for healing burns and even good for treating epilepsy. And vitamin K is primarily a vital ingredient in blood clotting, bone health, and other calcium binding activities. The list of vitamins and what they do is very long, and we do suggest you investigate further if you're interested. But the important thing to remember is that if we're not getting enough of these vitamins, our bodies will start stealing them from our other organs, tissues, and bones to get what it needs, and this can cause some serious health problems. The other form of micronutrients are minerals, straight off the periodic table in their most raw of forms. The main 7 that we use most are sodium, potassium, chloride, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. Each mineral has its own use in the body. For example, calcium is required for muscle contraction and nerve transmission, and also aids in blood clotting and, of course, making healthy bones. Magnesium supports cellular activity and assists enzymes in more than 300 chemical reactions in the body. Sulfur maintains acid-base balance and assists in some of the liver's drug detoxifying pathways. Potassium is an electrolyte which conducts electricity in the body and is critical to heart function and musculoskeletal contraction. Sodium maintains the water and electrolyte balance in the body, both inside and outside of the cells, and is important in how nerves and muscles work. Chloride helps maintain blood volume, blood pressure, and the pH of your body fluids, and phosphorus is, along with calcium, critical for the formation of bones and teeth. In fact, about 85% of the body's phosphorus is found in the skeletal structure. Again, there is a ton to learn about here, so to keep it simple, we'll invite you to do some research if you'd really like to dive deep. For now, let's continue on with our third and final type of nutrient, phytonutrients. Phytonutrients are Greek for plant nutrients and are plant chemicals which have been scientifically proven to provide health benefits, such as providing support for optimal cellular function and communication. These nutrients are in their own classification because they're not related to fats, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, or minerals. The benefits of phytonutrients include antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. They may also enhance immunity and intercellular communication, repair DNA damage from exposure to toxins, detoxify carcinogens, and alter estrogen metabolism. The US Department of Agriculture has stated that consuming a phytonutrient-rich diet seems to be an effective strategy for reducing cancer and heart disease risks. Phytonutrient-rich foods include colorful fruits and vegetables, legumes, nuts, tea, whole grains, many spices, and pretty much all plant-based food. Having looked at the different types of nutrients, we can start to look at disease and illnesses that occur within our physical bodies as a result of our diets. Disease itself is defined as a disorder of structure or function in a human, animal, or plant, especially one that produces specific signs or symptoms, or that affects a specific location and is not simply a direct result of physical injury. The discussion of nutrition and disease actually go hand in hand and are commonly described as nutritional deficiencies. Nutritional deficiencies often come in 4 ways: conditions that interfere with nutrient utilization, conditions that cause a greater than normal need for a nutrient, conditions that cause nutrient destruction in the body, or conditions that cause greater nutrient excretion out of the body. We can see in modern science when nutrition is out of balance, disease runs rampant. This can lead to a wide array of problems in the body, including but not limited to obesity, wasting, eating disorders, cardiovascular disease, hypertension, cancer, and diabetes, and even the more common but less severe sounding diseases such as fatigue, weakness, trouble breathing, hair loss, constipation, heart palpitations, depression, a lack of concentration, and many others, all of which can be caused by an imbalance of nutrients in the body. All of this information seems to be saying that when there is a disease in the body, especially which has been caused or impacted by nutrition, resolving the problems with nutrition can resolve the disease at its core and even eliminate it completely. This is not to say that just eating proper nutrition alone can solve all of our problems outright, for there are a wide array of diseases out there. But it's safe to say that a lot of them are caused or made worse by poor nutrition, and we can help heal the body by bringing awareness to this and making changes where needed. Let's take vitamin C, for example. If we're vitamin C deficient, we can find ourselves getting nosebleeds, having rough or dry skin, wounds healing slowly, easy to bruise, weak immune system, digestive disorders, harder to lose weight, high blood pressure, gallbladder disease, or even having strokes and certain cancers. These are all potential results from having a lack of vitamin C. There were studies done in the 1940s by Drs. William J. McCormick and Fred R. Klenner, who wrote about their success in treating disease with high doses of vitamin C. The reason that one vitamin can cure so many diseases is because the lack of the same vitamin can cause so many diseases. There are really only about 24 nutrients, but thousands of chemical reactions taking place within the body, and each nutrient is involved in a multitude of reactions that the body experiences, and they all need to be present and balanced for our bodies to thrive. Studies have found that vitamin C acts as an antitoxin, antihistamine, antiviral, a blood sugar regulator, and even a mood elevator. The list goes on and on. Now, there are a lot of studies and speculations out there that vitamin supplements may not all be that great for us or not as helpful as we once believed.
When nutrients are tested as therapy, they use very low doses. And that's why the public and physicians see all these research papers that show ambiguous results. One study is published and says vitamins help a little bit. Another study is published that says vitamins don't help very much. And you have this back and forth. But the problem is because all of those studies are low-dose studies. In fact, on the news it said, you shouldn't take too many of those vitamins, might not be a good idea. And yet they don't provide any evidence of that, they just say it.
This doesn't mean to say that you should just start taking massive doses of vitamins. Remember, we only need a small amount to maintain balance in the body. And for further clarity, we are talking about 2 different things here, vitamins and vitamin supplements. Ideally, you shouldn't have to take any vitamin supplements if you're getting all of the vitamins necessary from the food that you're eating. However, if you're nutritionally depleted, vitamin supplements can give you a boost for your body to get back into a natural state of being. Though, you should aim not to need to take supplements in the long run and sustain yourself entirely on whole, natural foods. There is still also the challenge that most of the foods available today are lacking in nutrients, and we're going to talk about that soon and how we can solve it. There's also a lot of information coming out regarding vitamin supplements not being able to transfer most of their valuable nutrients into our bodies, and much of it just ends up passing through and ends up in our waste. There are many reasons for this, including the difference between how our bodies process specific vitamins, such as fat-soluble versus water-soluble. Our bodies have a more difficult time breaking down a vitamin-rich pill than it does a carrot or some broccoli, and in order for our bodies to absorb the nutrient, it has to be bonded with another digestive enzyme first. Without that enzyme, the nutrient simply goes to waste. There are studies out there which suggest eating food with your vitamin supplements to aid in the body's ability to extract the nutrients out of the pill. And we still suggest eating your veggies as your primary source of nutrients. Finally, it's been shown that a high-stress job or environment causes adrenaline to pump through the body, which breaks down vitamin C and destroys other nutrients, which further adds to nutritional deficiencies. There's also cortisol, the stress hormone, which is released into the body when under stress and causes chemical changes and imbalances that in excess amounts can lead to depression, mental illness, interference with learning and memory, and even lowers immune function and bone density. Not to mention, increases weight gain, blood pressure, cholesterol, heart disease, and so on. Therefore, in addition to keeping our body's levels of nutrients in balance, maintaining a healthy environment, or at the very least, a practice of deep, calm breathing when we get stressed can also help maintain nutritional balance in our bodies. And if you've seen our episode called The Baxter Effect, remember to express gratitude for your food before preparing and eating it. This will help your body receive the nutrients and lift your spirits high too. Thank you so much for watching. Now that we've covered nutrients, we can really dive into the incredible world of plant food. See you next time.